Hi, everyone, and welcome to City Beat. I'm Nancy Byrne, and we are in the Las Vegas City Council chambers, where recently 3 new City Council members were sworn in. We're going to introduce you to them in just a few minutes. But first, we want to give you an update. On the last City Beat, we told you about efforts by city officials, local fire departments, and law enforcement to really discourage people from shooting off illegal fireworks. In an upcoming segment of Inside Vegas, we're going to take you along as photographer-editor Eric Sorensen rode along with investigators as they nabbed these people who still insisted on shooting them off. Here's a little tease. They met up at Metro's headquarters around 5:45 for a briefing. Then several teams hit the road, concentrating on areas where most of the complaints were filed last year on the I Spy Fireworks website. As you will see, it didn't take long for violators to be found, fined, and forced to give up their illegal fireworks. Final numbers are not in on how many citations were handed out, but Las Vegas Fire and Rescue crews say initial reports show that more than 100 citations were written, and that doesn't even count what Metro officers handed out. At $250 a pop, a lot of money will be given up by the violators, and we still don't know if there were any repeat offenders within 30 days. Those tickets ran an additional $500. And this is the Connex box filled with the fireworks confiscated. Suffice to say, a decent dent was made in the explosives out there in the wrong hands. We will have more on the 4th of July night patrols on an upcoming segment of Inside Vegas, so stay tuned for more information on that. Well, as we mentioned, the Las Vegas City Council has 3 new faces. Wards 1, 2, and 3 residents elected new representatives, and Mayor Carolyn Goodman also selected a new Mayor Pro Tem with the retirement of Lois Tarkanian. We managed to catch up with the 3 new City Council members during a very brief break in what was a very busy and exciting morning.
How wonderful.
It's a day before a national holiday, a time when there would be plenty of seats open at the City Council meeting, but not this July 3rd. That's because 3 new members were being sworn in to our esteemed Las Vegas City Council.
This is a phenomenal day for the city as we look forward to the next decade and all the things that we're trying to do at the council.
Wards 1, 2, and 3 were about to get their new representatives. Mayor Carolyn Goodman called them to the podium in order, starting with Brian Knutson, who took the oath with his 2 children and his husband Brian Egan by his side. Councilman Knutson worked here at the City of Las Vegas for about 10 years and also has vast experience in other state government and nonprofit organizations. After his swearing in, he graciously paid homage to those who also ran in this election.
When I sat in the mayor's office probably close to 2 years ago, I said, "What do you think about running for city council?" And she said, "Oh yeah, sure, you can do it. It's a lot to run for an elected office." And so for everyone who ran for office with me, I extend my tip of the hat to them because it's incredibly stressful. It's very hard to run a campaign.
Next to the podium, Victoria Seaman, the new council member to represent Ward 2. Councilwoman Seaman is no stranger to public service. Among her many elected positions, she served 1 term and 2 special sessions in the Nevada Assembly, where she was also Southern Majority Whip. She's also logged many volunteer hours with local charities and nonprofits. With her husband John by her side, her daughter unable to attend as she was on her honeymoon in France, the new councilwoman spoke of how proud she is to represent her community.
It is an honor to represent Ward 2. It's a lovely area, and I'm very excited to get to work with all of the council members and the mayor and the new council members. And it's nice because we've worked together in legislature before, both Councilwoman Diaz and Fiore, so that makes it even more special.
Last but not least, the new Ward 3 City Councilwoman Olivia Diaz was sworn in surrounded by so many of her family members, including her son and her husband, Frank Alejandre. Councilwoman Diaz is also no stranger to public service. She served in the Nevada Assembly from 2010 to 2018. In 2013, she was the Majority Assistant Whip. But she says she's now looking forward to serving right here in Las Vegas.
So thank you, Ward 3, for depositing your faith, your confidence in Olivia Diaz. The little girl who grew up on the east side of Las Vegas now gets to represent them. That's so exciting.
We managed to catch up with them during a very brief break between the ceremonials and the regular council meeting and asked them what this day means to them.
And I'm very excited about the opportunity to work with a brand new city council. And like I said, it's like coming home for me. I worked here for 9 years, and coming back to City Hall is really like coming home. I know a lot of the people here, and I'm so excited to be able to work with them again.
It felt great. It felt great that finally Ward 2 is going to have some representation. It's been vacant for some time, and I'm excited that the people, the voters, trusted me to be the representative, and I'm going to just roll up my sleeves and get right into it.
It truly has been something that I've been wanting to do, to step up and serve the community that helped lift me and give so much to me. So I'm so honored to have the city council seat and be able to help.
The ceremony was exciting for everyone, but little time was spent celebrating before the new city council members were in their seats and right to work. A big congratulations to all of the new city council members as well as their families. You know, they all touched on the fact that during a campaign, the families are key to their success. A lot of long hours and missed dinners. Hopefully things will slow down for all of them, at least just a little bit. Well, at that same July 3rd meeting, Mayor Carolyn Goodman nominated Ward 6 City Councilwoman Michelle Fiore to be her Mayor Pro Tem. It was a nomination that was voted on unanimously. Councilwoman Fiore was elected to the council as the Ward 6 representative in June of 2017. It seems many of our city council members have deep roots in public service. Like Councilwomen Diaz and Seaman, our new Mayor Pro Tem spent 2 terms in the Nevada legislature in Clark County's Assembly District 4. Aside from her public service and more than 2 decades in the business community, she has committed thousands of volunteer hours to various organizations in our community, including the Trauma Intervention Program, which supports victims of crimes. Of course, the Mayor Pro Tem steps in to fill in for the mayor anytime she's not available or must recuse herself for whatever reason. Congratulations to everyone. We should remind you that Mayor Carolyn Goodman and Ward 5 Councilman Cedric Creer were also up for re-election this year, but they both won during the primaries by receiving at least 50% plus 1 vote. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to tell you about a city program that is connecting people in need with the outside world via technology. Congratulations to the City of Las Vegas Employee of the Month, Early King. Early is a grant program coordinator with the Office of Community Services. She has led the way on many projects, including the city's lead-based paint initiative. It connects homeowners with experts who can test their homes for dangerous levels of lead and then work to get the issue fixed. For always exhibiting the city's values of being kind, committed, and smart, we say thank you and congratulations to Early King.
I knew it wasn't going to be easy. Some things take a while to come back.
3, 2, champions!
But I've got some good buddies. I guess they're helping me figure it out. Being used to doing something with a cigarette makes it hard to do it without one. But if I can relearn to hang out with my friends without cigarettes, then I can relearn anything without cigarettes.
Relearn life without cigarettes. Free at becomeanx.org. A new way to think about quitting.
I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. As it turns out, we have very similar personalities. And this cat makes me make art because he's always motivating me to take pictures of him, to draw pictures of him. He just is motivating artistically. It's just that simple. Well, he's my best friend, but a lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
Welcome back to City Beat from the Las Vegas City Council chambers. We want to tell you about a partnership right now between the City of Las Vegas and our housing authority that is helping to connect people in need with the outside world through something many of us take for granted, the internet. 15-year-old Lena Laksanamise can usually be found using this tablet during her summer break from school. However, she's doing anything but taking a break. She sometimes spends 15 hours a day taking classes and finishing assignments on her tablet so that she will be all caught up for the new school year. You see, until recently, she and her family were homeless for 11 months, and try as they did, it was difficult to keep up in school.
We're living in the car for some time, and some days I would be able to get them hotel to wash up so they wouldn't miss school as much. So I try to get them into school every day as possible.
But thanks to their caseworker from the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority, Brittany Cisneros, the family of 5 now lives in this apartment. And thanks to a program called Las Vegas Connected, Lena and her family have the vital tools needed to get back on track: internet access and this tablet. Dr. Lisa Morris-Hibbler says it's part of a national initiative creating digital literacy in public housing. Here in Las Vegas, the city partnered with the Southern Nevada Regional Housing Authority to help 300 families, just like the Laksanamises, bridge the digital divide.
We saw it for 2 purposes. One, the digital literacy and understanding how to use technology really opens the doors for those families, so we tied it to employment opportunities. That if you are applying for jobs, if you are working in the job, you have to have some computer skills. And then secondly, we also work with our schools to find out what types of apps and programs are they using in schools that children are expected to use in the home. Our district typically has about 50% of the homework online, and also registering children through Infinite Campus requires you to be online.
So speaking strictly for students, not having internet and computer access puts them behind other kids before they even get a chance to get started, because the internet is no longer a luxury, it's a necessity.
I like to compare it to where people were, typing your research paper on a typewriter, and you're pecking and doing all that and using correction tapes and whiteout, which it's hard to find whiteout these days, versus the person that is doing their research paper on a word processor, and then the person that advanced to the computer or the laptop.
Chad Williams is with the Housing Authority. He says the staff helped guide the city to those families who were not only in need in the public housing complexes, but those who had showed initiative to improve their lives.
And what we've done is identified first individuals within our family self-sufficiency program or resident opportunity program. And that's important because these individuals have already self-voluntarily committed that they want to improve their lives and transition through public housing. And so we identified those, particularly the ones with children.
The Housing Authority also hosts training days for parents and kids.
Here you go, there's your device. Go ahead, grab something to eat, have a seat.
T-Mobile donates the tablets and has staff on hand to teach the basics, from how to turn the device on to how to set up an email address.
Anybody that's going to reach out to you because they're interested in your skills, you're going to want to obviously access your email address. And so I would imagine everybody has a Gmail address, correct? Yeah. Awesome.
And if that's not enough, Las Vegas Connected provides contacts at these training sessions that help parents find employment. That is Bonita Fay. She's with One Stop Operation for Southern Nevada. We paid her a visit to find out why she was adamant about being part of this program.
Internet connection is critical these days because you really need it to connect to your kids' school. Banking, you can grocery shop, job search. The days of walking into an employer and handing in a paper application are over. And so you really need that connection to the internet if you're going to be successful.
But it's not only her knowledge of how the employment process works that feeds her passion to help others. Before she landed her dream job here at One Stop, she made some mistakes in life that landed her in a Wisconsin prison. It's an experience she is open about and taps into when she sees others looking for a hand up.
As I was going through my journey, I learned how to advocate for myself and discovered that I have a passion for helping people and sharing what I learned. When I entered prison, I didn't have a high school diploma, and today I have my master's degree in organizational management and leadership, and so I've really dedicated my life to helping others.
She says there are good people out there who are not looking for a handout. They're just looking for a chance. So she makes sure she's at those training sessions and available to them here in her office to give them that chance. Dr. Morris Hibbler says in all 300 families in our community will be helped thanks to this program.
All of these families have a goal of becoming self-sufficient and moving, beyond the public housing. And so this is just a tool that they can use as a resource for that.
A tool that puts Lena and her family back in the driver's seat to self-sufficiency, instead of feeling like they were being left behind.
I found it to be helpful because it helped me with schooling a lot, especially since we do a lot of things on computers and tablets. It also helped me with projects that I need to get done, which I can't do from home because I don't have a computer or any other technology that I needed.
For more information on Las Vegas Connected and additional projects, you can go to www.mayorsfundlv.org. While we are on the education topic, we want to remind you that registration for Safe Key and Ignite before and after school programs began July 8th, but this year there's something a little bit different. Now, registration and payments can be completed online at lasvegasnevada.gov/safekey or at the Safe Key Ignite office, which is at 416 North 7th Street. Their hours are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's time for another break, but when we come back, we're going to tell you how exercise can translate into very important splat points as we treat you to another segment of Open for Business.
Papa!
Hey!
Ready to go?
Yeah, but the fire's not out.
It's close enough.
Close enough? If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. I mean, the next thing you know, you've torched our whole neighborhood.
Which is why we're not going anywhere?
Exactly. 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
I rescued Toast from a shelter in 2011. I love Toast because she's a lazy diva. Toast makes me laugh. When I walked into the shelter, I knew she was special.
Caring for a family member can be challenging and lead to countless questions, for them and for you. Find articles, tips, and tools from experts and others who have been in your place. The Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving.
Welcome back to City Beat from the Las Vegas City Council chambers. You know, we hope here at Channel 2 that you're becoming familiar with our Open for Business, Discover the Fun, and Inside Vegas segments. Right now, we have an Open for Business segment that takes us to the Orangetheory Fitness Studio in Centennial Hills. You know, there are a lot of great gyms and fitness programs in our city. This one seems to be catching on like wildfire. And right now, we're going to find out why it seems to have staying power.
My name is Keith. I'll be your coach this morning. As always, any injury restrictions, let me know inside. We give some safe options. Today's ESP workout, so it's a mix of endurance, strength, and power.
And that is how each hour-long workout here at Orangetheory Fitness begins at the Centennial Hill studio. Well, that and
high fives on the way in, right to work. Let's go. We got this. Come on.
Members take their place to start either on the treadmill, the rower, or the floor to warm up.
Make sure that whole body's involved. 60% leg strength, 20 with your lean, 20 with your pull. Help increase your heart rate, get you up to your base pace.
That's before the real work begins.
Power walkers, we're back to 5% or greater. Runners and joggers at 1 to 2 miles per hour for this base pace speed. In 3, 2, 1, push, take it up. Come on, 2 minutes.
As the hour progresses, they rotate between the 3 stations to get a full body cardio and strength workout. On the surface, this may just look like any group workout, but Coach Keith Collins says there are several things combined here that make Orangetheory Fitness unique.
Number one is probably our team camaraderie. People here I see them talking every day, hanging out. They hang out on the weekend, and I think they've been friends for years, and they met 2 months ago at the studio. So that really helps motivate people. Having a fit group of friends helps you motivate. You come to the gym. Besides that, it's always led by an instructor, so it's a group atmosphere. But when I'm in there, it's almost like having a personal trainer, because I'm walking around the weight room floor constantly, helping out with people's form.
Each participant is also wearing a heart monitor that keeps track of their heart rate, which is reflected on these screens overhead, along with their name. Gray zone is pretty much sedentary. Blue is moving at an easy pace. Green is something you could do for about 30 minutes or so. It's considered your base pace. Now, when you get into orange, it's supposed to be physically challenging. And red is what the team calls all out. Most people get to that rate, and it's not discouraged, but it is time to check in with yourself. And if you're feeling too challenged, it is time to back off. The minutes spent in orange, thus the name Orangetheory, and red add up to the all-important splat points.
We focus on zones 3, 4, and 5. It's going to be the green, orange, and red zone. The splat points are the time you spend in your orange or red zone of your heart rate, so different percentages towards your max. And we're looking at least 12. That way you're getting that afterburn effect of up to 36 hours. Basically, you're burning extra calories while your body recovers from the intensity of the workout.
Intervals, mixing cardio and resistance, keeping track of your heart rate, coaches that patrol the room calling out the commands, and checking form. This may just sound like the latest fad in exercise. But there's another aspect here that is less tangible. It's a feeling of being part of a team consisting of skilled coaches and fellow participants who encourage and never judge. And it is no exaggeration to say it can change lives.
This is the first time in my life I've actually enjoyed an experience enough to keep wanting to come back, to promote my own health, and keep pushing myself further to see what I could do.
Jared Burris received a diagnosis that caught him by surprise, but it also finally explained why he was always tired and dragging. His wife suggested he try this to battle the fatigue and hopefully get a better night's sleep.
For me, part of that catalyst of change was diagnosed with sleep apnea beginning of last year. And for me, it was sort of a shocker to my system. I didn't think someone my age could have sleep apnea. When I started sleeping more and actually having the energy to do something, I wanted to focus it on something positive that would actually give back to my life and make it more positive.
Now, he is in no way saying this is a cure. But for him, it was the right program and atmosphere he needed to simply get back on track to a healthier life. He says if he doesn't make it here at least 3 or 4 times a week, he feels like he's missing out on something that has become a very important aspect of his life.
I'm more active with my kids. I can walk up my stairs and not feel like I'm out of breath, even at the end of the day. There's the little daily things you don't think about that are impactful. And then when you come to a place like this and you push yourself, suddenly those things become easier and the world opens up.
Jared admits he was a little intimidated to start. He thought this was only for advanced athletes. But he walked in and found all ages and all abilities. And it didn't take long before he realized here, everyone fits in.
We have modifications for every age group, every fitness level. That's another thing that's really cool about it. Like we have 15-year-old sons that work out with their mom and dad, so they all can take the same workout and they all give a great workout because it's based on your individual heart rate. Our very last class, we just had a member celebrate her 61st birthday, and she was just telling me after she started out as a power walker, now she can run on the treadmill, so it's never too late to make those fitness improvements.
The philosophy of everyone belonging is not only found in the studio with Keith and the other 2 coaches, Amanda and Nikki. It starts at the front desk, where the team theme is a must.
If we're not going to be gelling as a team, we can't promote that. It can't be a lie at the front desk. It has to be natural. So that's what we're going for when we're making the hires. We all hang out outside. We do staff events.
As for Jared, Orangetheory is now a family affair. His wife is still devoted, and now he has his mom on board.
You may not have a background in athletics. You may not have a background in being the most in shape. But coming here, you can be that person. You can change your life. You can change your mental outlook to be positive, to further other things in your life, and it kind of can start here.
There There are over 1,000 Orangetheory fitness studios across the country. There are 7 here in the Las Vegas area. Now, they're all independently owned, but you will find the same energy and teamwork at every single studio. My very first experience with Orangetheory was at the Spring Valley studio on Rainbow, and the coaches and the staff are just as great there as they are at all of the studios. Well, there's a new exhibit in the City Hall lobby that gives a new and beautiful meaning to recycling. These wonderful sculptures in the Las Vegas City Hall lobby are not made from clay or bronze. They're made from bits and pieces of scrap metal, wood, paper, even cardboard. 3 artists contributed to this exhibit: Jeffrey Gorman, Terrian Hale, and David Fay.
I like to work on pieces that bring back my childhood, remind me of past. If I can make people smile when they look at my work and they see something in them that they missed, you know, something from their childhood, and they smile, that's what it's all about for me.
One of David Fay's favorite pieces is this sculpture that invites people to get hands-on to get its full effect. It's called Rising Strong, and he loves how it makes people feel when they see the angels rising to the heavens.
I started noticing that last year that after the show, a lot of people started bringing me things that they were throwing out. And they would bring it and hang it on my doorknob, and my roommate was like, oh no, more stuff. So he has a rule at the house: 1 thing comes in, 2 things go out. So I try to incorporate stuff into my artwork as much as possible.
He intends to make a much larger scale version for the city's healing garden in honor of the 58 victims of the October 1st shooting.
When the actual large piece is built, they'll have a large wheel or 2 bicycles. We're looking more at a large wheel, something that 2 to 3 to 4 people can interact with and be a part of the experience. This piece only has 10 winged spirits. The actual piece will have 58 winged spirits. It'll be 7 feet tall and 7 feet in diameter, and it'll have 1 winged spirit for each of the victims.
David also has more whimsical pieces to show, like this robot he compares to a life-sized action figure.
Well, some of the pieces I do are robots, and one thing I've done since the beginning I learned from Alex P. Huerta is to name and number pieces in sequential order. So I named my 13th robot because I wanted it to be extra special since it was number 13. I call it Triskaideka, which is the fear of 13. So it's the phobia, Triskaidekaphobia.
As for the other 2 artists who have work on display here, David says when he started doing this assemblage art, he wanted to see who else was out there doing it, and he discovered Jeffrey Gorman.
So I looked up assemblage art on YouTube, and one of the artists that I kind of fell in love with was Jeffrey Gorman, and he's from Santa Fe. He uses a lot of wood and materials and metals, a lot of found objects, and he does these magnificent animals, and I just have been a huge fan since the beginning.
As for Terrian Hale,
and what she does with cardboard and wood is just amazing. I mean, there is a totem pole that she did in the show that is, you would swear when you looked at it, it was wood. And the way that it's painted and drawn on, and the work that she's done with it and how she finished it is just amazing.
Come check it out for yourself. This exhibit is up until August 1st. That gallery is located right in City Hall's lobby at 495 South Main Street. That does it for another City Beat. We want to extend a congratulations one more time to our 3 new council members and to our new Mayor Pro Tem. We'll see you for the next City Beat.